Today I'm reviewing Atlas Fallen. The game kind of feels like Forspoken 2 meets Darksiders. I've already completed the game. The game took me 13 hours to complete. I did a bunch of side objectives and I ran around a little bit in the beginning and then I ran the rest of the game. So you're looking at, if you just speed run the main campaign and you cruise through it, you're looking at about 10 hours. But for most gamers, you're looking at about 25 hours if you do all the side objectives, and probably 15 hours if you're just doing the campaign. Now, one nice thing about the game is easy is fairly easy. Normal will still provide a moderate challenge, and hard is actually, you just can't really get hit much at all, and you basically got to sit there and you got to freeze everybody. So there is a difficulty for everyone, and hard will make the game fairly challenging for basically all players. The enemy variance is pretty limited. They give about 12 enemy variants in the game, but for the basic enemies, they really only give a couple of variants. Not really a fan of that. Enemies are good and the AI is done well, but I would have liked to see at least quadruple the basic enemy types and slightly more of the elite variants. There are limited fights in the open world. Like if you played Forspoken 2, you know what I'm talking about. It's just like that. But you can go roughly from this marker all the way to roughly probably about here before engaging in another fight. Don't expect the world to be jam packed with battles. It's not. And most battles have 3 to 5 enemies, so there's not a ton of enemies in each battle. But the battles are challenging enough. If you're playing on easy, normal, or hard, especially if you're playing on hard, you really couldn't put that many more enemies in without it getting ridiculous, because enemies can heal. You gotta sit there and parry them all. So they really couldn't put more enemies per encounter for people playing on hard and make hard just not an absolute nightmare. So I kind of get how it's designed. I would like the frequency of the battles to be a little bit more dense in the enemy encounters, but it is what it is, and it is limited fights in the open world. One more note on the enemy encounters is, if you do fight them all, you're definitely going to have enough material, so you don't have to sit there and farm them. If you just fight all the fights that you come across, you're definitely going to have the materials for your upgrades. The graphics are pretty cool. Moving through the environments was fun, and the environments were done very well. Basically, everywhere that you go, the world is pretty cool. Everything is done well. Kind of feels like you're moving through the swamp or you're moving through the cave. Like, it actually was really cool going through the environments in this game. The story is okay. I'm not a huge story lore player unless it's something top notch like God of War Ragnarok or Death Stranding. But the story and VODs for me weren't nothing I'll remember, but they seem fitting for the game. They were okay. Nothing great, but I'm also, like I said, I'm not a huge story lore player unless it's like jump off the page good for me. This was not, but I enjoyed it. The weapons do the job in the game, and you get abilities. You actually get a ton of abilities in this game that you can equip. Like, you are going to have to progress through the game to start getting a lot of these, but you only get a couple of weapons. There's a fourth weapon. I didn't even get it. I just sped ran the rest of the main campaign because I realized I missed it, and I just like kept going and finished the game. I'll go back and get it, but there's only 4 weapons in the game, but the weapons do the job. You get a decent amount of moves for each weapon. For $50 to $60, the game isn't bad, but it is short. So you gotta be okay with like that 15 to 25 hours, depending if you're a completionist or you're just gonna run through the main campaign and complete some side missions. The replay value is not there. So if you're not a completionist, at the end of the game, all you have left is to complete what you didn't complete. So it is pretty much a one and done game. Personally, I'm giving the game about a 7. I take 1 off for lack of enemy variance, no replay value. It's just missing any if factor. While it was fun, it won't be a game discussed in 6 months. And I'm going to take off another point 0.5 because I just never rate anything at 10. And that's my review of Atlas Fallen. I did enjoy the game, it was a lot of fun. Would I buy it again if there's nothing else to play? Yeah. But otherwise, I probably would play something else. Still thought the game was really good. It was just really short. Like I said, it's a one and done game. So for me, I might have picked something else instead of it. But in any case, that is my review of Atlas Fallen. If you like the review, leave a like, comment, share. It helps others find the review. I hope this helped.